This is Gitchigami, or Lake Superior in the northern Great Lakes region of Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Canada, where my people live. My people are called the Inaabidaa, or the Ojibwe tribe, but in English we are often called the Chippewa Indians. Have you ever heard of the Chippewa or other Indian tribes? Today, the Ojibwe people are the second largest tribe in North America, and we continue to live in the Great Lakes region. My people have always hunted and gathered food from the land from season to season. Have you ever gathered any food from the land? Long ago, my Ojibwe ancestors gathered the gifts of food in the spring season. Ziguan. Spring. When the snow melts, the sap in the maple trees begins to flow. Long ago, in the spring, my Ojibwe ancestors would move their camp of round wigwam houses to a grove of maple trees. This is where they went to gather the sap to make maple syrup and maple sugar. The Ojibwe children, long ago, walked from a camp to gather the maple sap. First, they put a small gift on the ground to thank the maple tree for the sap. The children poured the sap into containers made from the bark, or the outside skin, of birch trees. The men would gather and prepare wood to make a fire. Everyone in the family helped with the work. Ojibwe children worked very hard. They were taught by their elders not to spill or waste the sap from the trees. The Ojibwe people put a cut in the maple tree, and the sap would drip out like clear water. They were happy that the spring season had come after a long winter. Now they would be able to eat some maple sugar. The sap had to be boiled over a fire for a long time before it became thick maple syrup. Later it became sticky, like taffy. Have you ever eaten any maple syrup or maple sugar? It tastes really sweet like candy. My people kept boiling the maple syrup until it became maple sugar. My people enjoyed the gift of the maple sugar in the spring. We have always been grateful for these gifts. Spring was also a time when Ojibwe ancestors went fishing at night in the shallow waters of the lakes. At night, fish swam into the warm, shallow waters near the shore of the lake, where my people could see them. They used a birch bark torch to light the way. The Ojibwe used a wooden spear to catch the fish. They fished all night long using a bright torch made from birch bark to help them see the fish in dark water. These were some of the traditional ways long ago that my people, the Ojibwe, gathered the gifts of maple sugar and the fish in the spring to help them survive. Today, my people, the Ojibwe, still continue to gather these gifts in the spring. How is it different now from the ways of my ancestors in the past? How is it the same? We do not live in wigwams now. We live in normal houses. Sometimes we bring a camper trailer or tent into the woods when we gather the maple sugar. Ojibwe families still go to the maple forest to harvest the maple sugar in the spring. Nowadays, schools bring students out to the maple forest to learn how to gather maple sap and to make maple sugar. We put an offering on the ground and say a prayer of thanks to the maple tree for the gift of the sap, just like our ancestors did long ago. Can you see what is being used to make a hole in the tree? Now we often use a modern drill to make a hole in the tree and a metal spigot to guide the sap into a container. Do the Ojibwe people still gather the sap in birch bark baskets? Today, the sap is gathered in metal cans. Everyone helps with the work. The children help too. We still have to cut a lot of wood to keep the fire going, so we can boil the sap down to the maple syrup and maple sugar. The sap is boiled in large metal kettles or in cans these days because they last longer than pottery or birch bark and are easier to get. Elders from the school and community teach the children how to boil the sap and to make the maple sugar. Now these students will continue this tradition when they grow up and have families. The maple sugar still tastes great even today. Spring is also the time when my people fish at night in the shallow water of the lakes like they did long ago. Do we still use birch bark canoes on the water today? Now we use metal boats instead of birch bark canoes to go onto the lakes. We use a sharp metal spear these days to catch the fish to eat. What kind of spear did we use long ago? Now we use an electric light instead of a birch bark torch to see the fish in the water at night. The Ojibwe people continue to receive the gifts of the fish and the maple sugar in the spring. We maintain our traditional connection to the land like our ancestors did long, long ago. We also have new ways of getting food besides these traditional ways. We go to grocery stores to buy some of our food. As Ojibwe people, we choose to mix our traditional ways from the past with the modern ways of living today. Does your family continue any traditions of your ancestors?